Hi everybody, this is a little training video on using Ceram-XX. If you're a production shop, I want to show you a very simple way of using our latest and greatest product. This is 1500 grit dry sandpaper. Wouldn't ask anybody to sand a car with only 1500 grit, but I want to show you how well Ceram-XX works in removing 3 spots sanded with this sandpaper, 1500 grit. And I'm pushing really hard. This is to represent denibbing in your body shop. If I was in there and if we were doing certified training, I would say take it to 2500 grit. But for this demonstration, I want to show you how simple it is to remove 1500 grit with the wool pad and Ceram-XX and then finish it with a DA and the same product, Ceram-XX. So the setup for doing this is really important. And it is a little bit different than just a normal compounding system. This is the product, Ceram-XX, just to designate that it has more cutting ability. But just because it has more cutting ability, we're still able to get the same awesome finish that we got with ceramics. So this is a wool pad, double-sided. This is a DeWalt battery-powered buffer. You want your speed to be around 1500 RPM. The corded buffers are going to be more powerful, and most body shops use, this would be an 849X in a corded buffer by DeWalt. It's got a lot of power. The more power, the more cut. So I would, definitely, hopefully that's what you guys are using back there where you are, and just to make this a successful demo. Put the product on the pad. Really important. You can see what I'm doing right there. It's very, very important that the water, that you don't put it over here, because the product will evaporate very fast. This takes a little bit of training to get the guys involved in doing this, but if they do this, the speed difference is going to be tremendous. So put the product on the pad. Hold the buffer and the product on the surface. Turn it on. That way it puts the product in the pad. You can see it, everything stays nice and neat. Nothing's going to spray all over the place. Now, once you get it in the pad, come right up on edge. Two or three strokes on each 1500 grit scratch, and they should come out. A little bit of pressure. Not a lot, but a little bit of pressure. Product stays contained. There's no dust at all. Go to the center of the pad where the product is, and then come up on edge just to use the edge of the pad to do your final cutting. So you see, there is no splatter, there's no dust, and I'm going to come in close and show you that we got all of the trench marks from the 1500 grit scratch. We're going to have a little bit of a wool pad mark right now if we were to go in the sun, and I'm going to put an LED light on here too, just to show you. Just to prove the point that we did cut and we did put a wool pad mark in. But We're going to take out that wool pad mark using the exact same product and a DA polisher, but I'll do that on the next step. So notice here, totally removed a 1500 grit scratch with one single product and a rotary buffer. Very, very fast. MSOs will love this process. This will save the MSOs a lot of time and a lot of money if we can take this all the way to finish. All right, so we are going to come in lighted to this and just check out our work. We're looking for 1500 grit scratches. We're not worried about the wool pad mark right now. I'm looking for those trenches that if you're doing DA work in 1500 grit, or even, doing it like I did it, dry sanding 1500 grit, we're able to remove all of those scratches real simple with one single product and a wool pad. So everything looks good. Now we'll go to DA and red foam pad. All right, so let's review. 1500 grit, double-sided wool pad, Ceram-XX as the polish, totally removed 1500 grit, fairly simply. It was easy, a few passes. This is our red foam pad, CSI Keep It Simple red 5-inch foam pad. This is a 15 millimeter stroke DA, very important for doing your final. So you're not using a rotary anymore for final. You're using a DA to do all your final work. A little bit of product. It doesn't take very much. A couple drops. The product is concentrated. So on the dial, we're about 3/4 of the way up on the dial. You don't necessarily have to do it that fast, but this is a really simple tool to use. And it's not very aggressive to the surface. So using a higher speed with a DA is totally fine. It's going to be safe on the paint. You can see 2 little drops, no dust, no mess. The product wetted out the surface really well, and we're going to come in live with the light and look at what this looks like as a final, so that we've got something real here. Let's look at it, and then we can talk about it. Okay, the light is on. You can still see all of the residue on the surface. Now we're going to wipe it off with a microfiber towel. Big difference from the wool pad to the foam pad. Now that was only a couple strokes. I'm going to go over that one more time to see if we can tighten up that dot. I want that dot to be as small as possible. And there is no cover-ups on this. This is a water-based product, doesn't have the exterior oils that most products have, so it's never going to change. What you see is what you get. You can see up here, we've got some swirls happening. But here in the middle, it looks a lot better. Let's do it one more time. Okay, camera light is on. residue, microfiber. Very carefully wipe that surface. Nothing gets sticky, wipes off super easy, and you can see it looks much, much better on the second application. The light is getting smaller, the dot of the light. There's less refracting. That's exactly what we want for swirl-free finish. Looks great. Even up here on top, where we had some swirl marks before, looks really good. Okay, let me come back into the camera. Alrighty, so basic application, wool pad, Ceram-XX, remove 1500 grit scratches, and then red foam pad on a DA with the exact same product, Ceram-XX. If you have any questions, please give me a call anytime. You know, I post my phone number all the time, 714-906-6619.